Hello, welcome to Skill Check, the positive gaming podcast from YMCA Exeter. My name is Sandy.
And my name is Becky.
And I'm very aware just then when I introduced myself, I have the giggle all over my name, and this is possibly the third attempt at doing the intro.
I think it's only the second, but you carry on.
It feels like the fifth.
I mean, we could be doing 10. We have no idea right now.
At the rate we're going, who knows?
What's coming up, Andy?
Yeah, let's just crack on with it.
Let's crack on.
We have, we're going to be talking, so it's January.
Yeah.
It's the time of year where we talk New Year's resolutions.
Okay.
We're talking about avoiding going to the gym.
Avoid going to the gym all year round.
Or other excuses for exercise.
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah.
We've got Game of the Week, but first things first, we have gaming news. Now, gaming news.
Gaming news. Our first piece of gaming news today is China seems to have backtracked on strict rules to combat what regulators deemed obsessive gaming. The National Press and Publication Administration, this is like news that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, have proposed regulations limiting the amount of money and time people spent playing video games. However, on Tuesday, the draft rules were no longer on the MPPA's website. China is the world's biggest online gaming market, but the industry has had regular run-ins with authorities. Share prices of Chinese gaming firms jumped on the announcement after the announcement, although there is still uncertainty over what the Chinese government will do next. Many Chinese gaming companies are now moving up plans to start creating more games aimed at an overseas market. Yeah, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I guess everyone has their own opinion over how things should run, and that's where the whole kind of right-leaning, left-leaning politic arguments kind of coming into play, isn't it? And the government in China obviously have their own kind of opinion, but it sounds like they're still able to be swayed by industry
companies.
I think it's interesting that Chinese companies are starting to look more at overseas.
I know it could be interesting to see whether there are any sort of games that are made in China that pop up in a sort of Western environment. So we're looking forward to seeing some newish games. It'd be really interesting. Our next piece of gaming news is Netflix reported its full year earnings for the fiscal 2023, during which it reported that gaming engagement tripled in the last year. This was in part due to the release of the original Grand Theft Auto trilogy on the service near the end of last year. Netflix called the GTA trilogy its most successful launch to date in terms of installs and engagement, with some consumers signing up simply to play these games. The service still cannot compete with Sony and Xbox, though, as in October it reported that only 1% of Netflix's roughly 250 million subscribers were playing a Netflix video game on a daily basis. Netflix acknowledges that its gaming division is not yet material relative to its film and series business. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting though. I mean, Grand Theft Auto, that's the draw.
And of course it is.
Yeah.
I mean, the original, not really the original, but in this case, in the world of 3D GTA, it's the original trilogy. And those games were huge.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the word groundbreaking because that feels like it's over the top and really kind of big. Could be groundbreaking.
Yeah.
And to have them kind of re-released for free for Netflix subscribers, that is going to get people's interest. Yeah,
and we talked about this because I've never played GTA, and we talked about the fact that it's now free on Netflix. So if you've got a Netflix subscription, you can play the game. And we talked about how the fact that I was like, I'm going to play Grand Theft Auto because I've never played it before. I've seen people play it. I mean, morally, it's questionable. However, I think probably I'd quite enjoy it, even though it's morally questionable. So it's interesting, like people like myself who admittedly aren't big gamers, I'm like, oh, that's interesting, like, because I can get it for free, I might try it.
Yeah.
I wonder if also it will be motivation for, like, whether people will go, try it, and then actually really like it, and then I might buy the game on a different platform or like on a PC or something like that. So yeah, I wonder if that's...
And I think the game itself generated a lot of press coverage, a lot of chatter. In that, I think at some point last year, we had a conversation about Netflix games. I was like, ooh, Spiritfarer's on Netflix and free for Netflix subscribers. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Spiritfarer is quite a smallish game compared to GTA.
Yeah.
It's quite well known.
Yeah.
But, you know, I didn't know that. So
yeah.
When it came to GTA, lots of people were talking about it. And that's probably the key for Netflix going forward, kind of to have other kind of big releases like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and yeah, it's a really interesting way of doing it. And like when we talked about Spiritfarer and then I went away and played it. So I wonder if that's, I mean, I can see it growing. I don't know how much of it's going to compete with Xbox.
Yeah, and I guess that's the other part of course it is.
Yeah.
Because people still look at Netflix and think movies, TV shows. Let's binge watch Friends forever and a day.
That's true.
They don't look at Netflix and think general streaming entertainment.
Do you remember in the day when Netflix was like a DVD delivery service? Do you remember that?
I remember it being a thing. I never ordered DVDs from Netflix.
It used to be like a competitor with Blockbuster back in the day. And they'd like, you'd order a DVD from them, go, I want to watch this film, and then they'd send it to you in the post, and then you'd post it back to them when you'd finish with it. And that was like the way that they worked.
I actually had to go to the post box.
Yeah.
DVD
Yeah, that was the original Netflix. That was what Netflix used to do.
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah. Back in the day. Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Probably move on before we
and
into some sort of
nostalgic
podcast.
Yeah. Our third piece of gaming news is Twitch has announced a new deal to pay streamers more. It announced plans to share part of its revenue with streamers as part of a shake-up. Streamers make money through fans subscribing to their channel, which starts at $3.99 per month in the UK. This is then split 50-50 between Twitch and the creator after the fees are paid. Sweetheart deals were given to the most famous streamers, but the new system will mean that anyone that has more than 100 paid subscribers will now receive 60% of their money, of the money fans pledge. The news comes 2 weeks after parent company Amazon announced that it would cut more than 500 jobs at Twitch, accounting for a third of the people that work there. The revamped system, which is called Twitch Plus program, will come into effect in May. Yeah, is good news if you're a streamer, I guess, and you've got over more than 100 paid subscribers. I didn't realise this is how much I'm not a gamer. I didn't realise you have to pay for watching people on Twitch.
Well, it's a subscription button.
Okay.
That is kind of part of the payment thing. So if you've got Prime, I think you get like one free subscription
a
month, and that's different to following on Twitch.
Okay. But what does that... So what if you subscribe to them, what's the difference between you following them?
I think... And this is the reason why I got the guys on to talk about Twitch last year, in that I don't spend half as much time on Twitch as I'd really like.
Yeah.
I think there's kind of extra bonuses and extra kind of bits and pieces
that
kind of chucked in
as
part of that.
Okay. I mean, like we don't understand, like collectively, do not have massive understanding of Twitch. So if you've got more understanding of Twitch and you want to come on, definitely come and see us. Yeah, I guess it's a good thing for people that are earning money through Twitch.
Yeah, I guess if there's more Twitch's profits to go around to people who are driving audience towards Twitch's platform, that's only fair. So it is January.
Yeah.
Obviously January. So why am I talking January?
Why are you talking January?
New Year's resolution time still, or actually probably round about the time
start to break the New Year's resolutions.
And we kind of go, you know what? Enough.
I'm going to go back
to my old ways.
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed life before I tried giving up coffee for.
Don't do that, Andy. You're really grumpy without coffee.
I don't know what she means.
Yeah, for those of you who are listening on the podcast, he just sat there with a cup of coffee currently. Yeah. Okay. So why are we talking about what New Year's resolutions? What's happening? I just got a mouthful of coffee. Do you want me to talk about why we're talking about New Year's resolutions? What is quite common with New Year's resolutions, I'm going to talk about it.
Is the whole kind of going to the gym,
trying to
get yourself fit, trying to
keep moving,
exercise.
Yeah, those were the things.
And well, it's almost become not just traditional to talk about New Year's resolutions around this time. It's become traditional for us as a podcast.
It's true.
To talk about
going to the gym. Or not going to the gym.
Or
doing games that avoid going to the gym.
Things to do gaming-wise.
So we'll keep you fit.
Yes.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got the kind of classics that I think we talked about last year, which is the Pokemon Go.
Yep. Walking around, get you moving.
Yeah, kind of walk around, catch Pokemon, using your camera. Licking the
There's a Pokemon. There he is.
Catching it.
Yes. Great.
Pokestops, going to gyms, things like that.
Yeah.
Which, particularly when it first came out, I know lots of people really appreciated that because that was something to do when they went to the shop.
Although there was a lot of talk about people not watching what was going on in front of them and then people walking out in the middle of the road. So please, if you're doing that...
but people do that with mobile phones anyway.
It's true. I just have constant run-ins with the school kids that are all just down like this. And like they're just walking down the road like this. And I'm like, they're going, you can't see me. And I'm walking right towards you and you're not watching. And I was like, I'm a dog on a lead and you will trip. Yes.
Exactly. We also talked about geocaching.
Yeah. We went geocaching.
We've gone geocaching.
Yeah.
We need to go geocaching again. We talked about that a lot last year.
I really think we need to find someone that's never been geocaching before and take them geocaching with us and document the whole experience.
I have an idea for that person. I'm not going to say their name.
Okay.
You know, it's a little bit mean and she will probably...
not want to do
it? She might be up for it.
Okay.
But I think she'd appreciate us.
I think I know who you're talking about.
There you go.
Yep. Okay.
But I think she will appreciate us not mentioning her name.
No, it's true.
The temptation to say her name
is so tempting. Yep.
We have also mentioned Run Zombie Run.
Yeah.
Previously, and I'm going to get on to the reason why I'm making a point of mentioning it again, because what it was last time we talked about was very much almost a interactive story that you listen to in your headphones when you're out for a run.
Yeah.
And the idea is that when the zombies attack in the story, or in real life, in the story, that's when you start running.
Okay.
And then you can stop running and walk, take things at a more gentler pace when you're not about to be attacked by zombies through your headphones.
Okay.
That has now expanded over last year to include stories around Marvel.
Ooh, fun.
So if you're a Marvel fan, I think it's now called XRX or something like that. It's not called Run Zombie Run or anything like that anymore, because, you know, it's trying to expand to other non-zombie genres. The other one, the one I really wanted to focus on, though, was an app that I've installed recently called Fantasy Hike.
Okay.
Now, imagine walking to Mordor. This is one for the Lord of the Rings.
You told me about this. Yeah.
And it's incredibly simple. You install it and it tracks your steps for the day.
Yeah.
Basically. But how it reports it, it's in the context of not walking to Mordor. It is technically not a Lord of the Rings. I think they call it Doom Mountain.
Okay.
And you don't have Gandalf, you have the grey wizard who kips on your sofa.
Okay. Just happens to be a grey wizard. Yeah.
Possible. It's definitely wizard.
Okay. Yep.
And you have this kind of image that kind of updates as the day goes on to kind of talk about where you are.
Mm-hmm.
If you're kind of walking through a field, if you're hiding from kind of knights that are looking.
They look a lot like orcs.
Possibly.
Uh-huh. Okay.
If there's a river.
Nice.
It's incredibly, obviously not Lord of the Rings-esque.
Yeah. Sure.
But it's very kind of, let's say, Tolkien-esque feel about proceedings.
Nice.
And it doesn't. It doesn't push you to walk. Yeah. There isn't any kind of triggers to say get your footsteps in or anything like that. It's not a Fitbit.
Yeah.
But it is just something that it's a nice thing to say. Kind of. What the results are of your walking in regards to your walk to Mount Doom.
Nice. Out walking. I was going to say the other game that I really like for fitness, which you haven't included, Beat Saber. That'll get you fit.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So if you haven't played Beat Saber, it's the thing where you do it in VR.
It's almost like Saber training.
Yeah. It's a cross between Fruit Ninja and then like what is it? Guitar Hero. Those are the two like I would.
But moving the controllers.
Yeah. So you do it. We do it on the PlayStation. I think you can do it. There's like you can do it on Meta. Is that right?
On the Quest
thing. But you have the controllers which are then motion activated, and then in your hands you hold two lightsabery things, and then boxes fly towards you and on the music, and then you have to like slash the box basically, and you have to slash it in the direction of the arrow on the box basically. So it's a bit of like, I'll tell you what. It'll get you fit because by the end of it, you're like exhausted from the fact you just had to swing your arms around.
It gets you moving, doesn't
it? Yeah, and like, just my one warning is be really careful because like you do what my sister does, which is walk gradually towards the TV as you're slashing out in the front of you. So every so often somebody has to shout and go, move back. But
dear.
It will get you fit. It's a really fun one, and it's if you like music, it's a really good one to play because you can get like really into the music and stuff as well. I love it. I think it's really good, and it will, things like that. There are some other games that I would like. I think maybe like even Switch Sport. That's a good one. Like there are definitely some things on Switch Sport. I mean, I'm not sure that bowling would really get you that fit.
Well,
but things like
the arm.
Yeah, there's definitely like a battley one where you can like where you have to like swing your arms around and stuff like. Things and stuff.
I have ages.
Yeah, that'll get. I think that's a good like.
My daughter's quite good at that one.
Yeah. I mean, quite.
A little bit worried.
Yeah, quite a lot of the VR games require movement, and actually, that's like if you've got a VR headset, actually moving around and stuff like that, and you're not massively into going outside. VR could be a good option for you. And there is some science to say that if you are viewing nature even in VR, it can still affect your hormones in the same way that it would be if you were out in actual nature. So it's a good way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of triggers the brain to think that you're there. So therefore it acts like you are there.
Yeah. And I love nature. I love being outside. But I know it's not for everyone.
No, and there are very understandable reasons why.
Yeah.
Could be anxiety related.
Yeah.
Could be actually you're living somewhere where going somewhere nice is a struggle.
Yeah. You could be living in central London, for example.
Exactly. Yeah. Or it could be just your life is in a place where you're working.
Yeah.
Like during daylight hours and afterwards it's dark. It's not nice out there.
Yeah.
Actually, you're home, it's safer at home, it's warmer at home.
Yeah.
That's a good place to get some sort of
exercise. And now it's time for Andy's Game of the Week. Andy, what is your game this week?
Well, I'm still playing lots of Spider-Man whenever I get a chance.
Okay.
And I'm trying to jump into Baldur's Gate 3 when I get there as well. Not as often as I would like. But I have found something on the Xbox that has distracted me a little bit.
Okay.
Particularly from Spider-Man.
What is it?
That is Sea of Solitude.
Okay.
And, for a few years, I was very much I stumbled across on Game Pass. And, well, I'm going to describe this game in two ways, right? First is kind of very from a practical point of view, in that you play a character who is in a flooded city, which you explore either by boat or walking around, or there's a little bit of swimming involved there as well. You've got to avoid kind of the monster underneath the surface.
Yeah.
There's a few other things kind of underneath that try and drag you down.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
Okay.
So you want to, if you're swimming, you want to stay on top, not.
Okay.
There's lots. It's very kind of puzzle mechanic-y game. Lots of exploring, lots of using light as, I guess, not a weapon.
Yeah.
But more of a kind of game mechanic to shine light on kind of the situations and things that you come across.
Okay.
The other way of exploring it, the other way of explaining this game, and probably a bit more accurate, is that the game itself, to use its words, it's about daring to look at what lies beneath the surface in a haunting struggle of darkness and light, and discover what it truly means to be human. One of the taglines for this game is, when humans get too lonely, they turn into monsters.
Yeah.
So this is quite a heavy game topic-wise. There are themes of depression, definite theme of self-worth in there as well, and the words we use to talk to ourselves and describe ourselves. It's very much the whole thing of, you wouldn't talk to a mate like this while you're talking to yourself. Very much kind of springs to mind when playing this game. And I guess as a result, this is a great game, very much into it. Is it a game for everyone?
Yeah.
Probably not. And is it a game for everyone all the time? Again, probably not. And this is where knowing the game and knowing yourself comes into play.
Yeah.
In that, actually, if you want a nice uplifting game,
this is not your choice.
This is probably not the game to play right now. If you're looking for a game that explores mental health issues, or a game to help you understand someone else who has mental health issues, or is going through it, or is describing something that you don't fully understand, this could be a really good game to play.
Yeah.
To help you kind of understand that. Yeah. And I think I like it. It's a good game. Am I going to want to play it when I've had a really bad day, late at night, in a dark house? I don't know.
Okay.
It's not I was going to say it's not a scary game.
Yeah. Your inner self can be scary.
Exactly. And I think that is where it comes into play.
Yeah.
So, it's not scary in the same way that survival horror games are scary.
Yeah.
But some of the questions and some of the stuff that's happening, it's like, oh, it's a bit creepy, this.
Ooh. Yeah. It feels uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's where, knowing what the game's about and, knowing yourself and how you're at, and that's kind of important. And we don't want to shy away from talking about these kind of games, because actually it could really help someone to understand themselves better, and understand people that they have mental health issues better. That's really good. I just think it comes with a bit of a caution warning.
There is definitely a caution warning. All the trigger warnings for this game. For non-typical reasons. So we might talk about a game like Grand Theft Auto or Assassin's Creed, and I think we talked about Assassin's Creed Valhalla before, and I described it as you're a Viking going around doing Viking type things.
Yeah.
And that it's not a game for kids.
Mm-hmm.
This game does have its own disclaimer at the front of it to talk about the topics that it does discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So be aware, but it is a really good game as well.
Great. Well, that is all we have time for today. Please do follow us on all our social medias. So, and at YMCA Exeter and at YMCA Exeter Games. You can find us on all good social medias. That's what they say. All good bookshop. Not in bookshop.
All good social medias. Some not good social medias.
Please do also follow us on YouTube if you are following us on YouTube. Hello. Also quite. And we please do like and comment and subscribe, and we will see you next week.
Take care.